Spoilers ahead for the last story dungeon in offline mode. If you don't want to see anything involving the last story mode dungeon in this upload, now is the time to head out. Otherwise, thank you for joining us. This is a Grumpy Old Guy Gaming, and happy Fragment Friday. As you can see, I'm in Net Slum, queuing up in the words list for Frozen Musing Parade. That is a level 95 wood field, and without further ado, we will get right into it. And by right into it, I mean we're going to skip the field entirely. I tried to parse this rundown as much as possible. This is going to be part one of a two-part upload series, this focusing more on the dungeon run itself. And I didn't fight anything out on the field. I've done that once, did not feel the need to do it this time or really the desire to. So I skipped a good 5 seconds of riding Rocker Grunty to the dungeon here. As you could see, I've got Kite and Wiseman partied with me. I got Wiseman a few levels. I want to say he was upper 60s, close to 70 at the time of this run. Kite I leveled up to 89, and I myself came in with my Blade Master at level 99. Worth mentioning at this point, links down below for the .hack network and NetSlum. Coming up to our first of many portals, and mind you, this is on quickest route. I did not want to get a full clear, and you can already see the level of difficulty we're dealing with. We've got an Armor General and a bugged Moo Guardian. The bugged Moo Guardian is a very high-level data bug and is going to be thwarting us with some powerful magic, and the Armor General is just a bastard. See Kite just getting decimated there, and Wiseman, by extension of being an NPC spellcaster in offline mode, just can't get himself out of the way. Part of it is strategy on my part. I've got Operation Wonder Battle up, and I'm sort of relying on myself to be able to handle things as much as possible. Kind of stuck in menu hell there for a moment, as I just couldn't figure out with my fingers and my brain what exactly I wanted to do. Finally got around today to draining the Moo Guardian here, and great news everybody, this is where you have to go if you want a Caduceus Rod. These Moo Guardians are the ones who drop it at a fairly common rate, actually. As you can see, once it's drained, it's just a regular Moo Guardian. Easy kill, no experience for anyone. Pick a green call up out of... Not even sure if that was a green call. It just flashed before me and I already messed it. Reliving some trauma of this dungeon. Now, you'll notice when I'm setting up the buffs, everybody's getting Rig Same and Rig Geem. You're going to see me casting that a ton. I intentionally do not give Wiseman Aptu. I want Wiseman to be further behind when it comes to the portals, and for the most part, this works out fairly well for me. Just kind of want that separation from the front line for area of effect, because Wiseman is my designated healer in this. With the menus not pausing, I find support spells to be the most useful thing for me to cast with NPC Wave Masters. Lucky break number one is we get a portal giving us just a chest with a Forest of Fear. Following portal gives us a pair of bugged Moo Guardians, so the strategy here is pretty simple. Kind of hope the Moo Guardians both focus on us, have Wiseman cast Foul Rep, and by us I mean Kite and myself. And then just get the drains off. Caduceus Rod number 2, as you get this lovely awkward close-up picture of myself, because I didn't want to lose the proximity on the Moo Guardian for the sin of moving for a better camera angle. Unfortunately, it didn't count as in my field of vision for the data drain, so I did have to skip out there. 3 portals and 3 data drains, but we did get 2 copies of the Caduceus Rod and Shadow Robes. So very high level gear off of that bugged Moo Guardian. These combats are going to take a while, and in true .hack fashion, this dungeon seems to do little else but humble your ass. Kite down in the blink of an eye there, as we have 2 Armor Generals and 1 bugged Moo Guardian. The Moo Guardian is completely magic resistant. and the armor generals are just incredibly strong attackers, so what I want to do is stay back at a distance and cast. Trying to do the menu hokey pokey with Wise Man, flatly not an option for me. So the best I could do is just use Kite and Wise Man as shields. It's going to take quite a hit on the consumables here. As you can see, I am getting out of dodge just about any time I am remotely in danger. Unfortunately, that means when I hit the other side, more often than not, the closest enemy to me is the Moo Guardian. Finally in a position to take down one of these armor generals. They're kind of the thing I have to take care of first, because I can't get in close as long as they're there. The multi-hit attacks, even at level 99, do quite a number on my Blade Master. Needless to say, Wise Man stands almost no chance, and Kite about the same amount. Fortunately, Kite has that NPC fearlessness and just hacks away whenever he's conscious. So we do eventually get rid of the generals, and now it's just a matter of getting this bugged Guardian down. Nice thing about the armor generals is, since they aren't data bugs, they're giving a little bit of relief to our poor drain meter that is going to get taxed heavily on this run. See, prize number 4 is a Forsaken Light. Once again, top tier stuff here if you can survive to get it. All of the buffs have worn off at this point, and again, I am running quickest route, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to stop and pick up extra treasures, as I know I'm going to be running through a fair bit of consumables, and money is necessary to refill afterwards. Picking up the Hanged Man there, taking a moment just to throw Rig Game on Kite and Wise Man to get their SP pools up to full, as we'll be doing a complete rebuff at the start of floor 2. In hindsight, I could have probably cut those out too, but this is a 10-floor dungeon, and I did not want to sit there and parse through the first room of every floor for 9 floors. Plus, I'm pretty sure I cut out most of the 8th floor anyway. I'll explain that later when it comes relevant. Floor number 2 now. We've got a fairly linear opening to this one. You can see 3 rooms right away leading out from the entrance, and 2 of them have portals. The first 5 floors, as well as I could guess, are sort of the brutal part of this dungeon. It is the gauntlet meant to test your resolve and let you know right quick and in a hurry if you're ready for this challenge or not. Taking my last moment of respite before the next portal opens, and we are once again greeted by multiple Moo Guardians. I believe this is a pair here. Most I've seen in any runs are 3, and oh my. If you thought 2 was a pain, and it is. Yet another Caduceus Rod, and a nice critical hit there takes down the Moo Guardian before it even gets a chance to move after draining. Yet another data drain. This one casts Muley, so the Blade Master is charmed. And that is bad news for Wise Man, and with Wise Man and Kite both down, about the only thing we could be thankful of is the fact that it's just a regular strength Moo Guardian. Had that happen on the first drain and a bugged Moo Guardian was up, you could very easily be looking at a game over with a critical cast if I was caught down on hit points. Important things to think about when running this dungeon. Green calling the Hanged Man there. We could see our stairs down are above the sort of cross-shaped room there, but we have to get through the semicircle first, so there's 3 portals standing between us and floor number 3. Also worth noting that we have to rebuff yet again. taking some pauses here as I know this will be excess of an hour, and I do apologize for the lengthy upload. Hopefully the more digestible uploads I've been doing here have been welcomed, and hopefully this one is too, as this one was kind of a special occasion. Yet another of the dynamic duo got Armor General and Bugged Moo Guardian. Contemplated just trying to tuck myself in the corner and use the line of sight gimmick to just sort of twist the camera to a way where I could only see the Armor General, but I knew that could end badly if the Moo Guardian just sort of floated in and obstructed my camera view. So keeping an eye out and using elixirs where I have to, because what choice do I have? Kite staying alive makes it easier for me to focus on spellcasting, and me staying alive is pretty much our only chance at making it out of here, because by the time I trigger Wise Man to revive me, chances are he's already taken lethal damage. Another drain coming up here. This time I was smart enough to set up Wise Man on a foul rep while I navigated the menu. So we're all squared away, full health, full SP by the time the battle's over. Just gotta get Kite back up to speed for a little bit of the dying. You're gonna see a lot of character deaths here. You can already see that there's a portal down on the bottom left side there that I'm just going to flat out ignore, much like that portal in the upper portion of floor number 1. Maybe sometime down the road when I'm feeling truly nothing good in a day, I may run this again for a full clear. That won't be anytime soon though. As you could see, Kite going down in just one shot. That had to be an Armor General moment. We're getting pounded pretty badly by the 2 Moo Guardians. All the way down to 148 hit points there, and you know, watching back, it is just not any more fun to watch back now than it was to play originally. Saw Kite there with a nice stealth kill of the Armor General while we were setting up a McGann ROM, and now it's time to just see if we could survive the onslaught of multiple casting Bugged Moo Guardians in the exact same spot. Set up Wise Man for his heal, go ahead and heal Kite by proximity, get a data drain off before too much more damage can be done to poor Kite. Does in fact save him and allow him to take out the drained Moo Guardian while we start working on the protective shield on the other one. Could see the drain meter already moving into that sort of yellowish green as we pick up a Shadow Robes. For the record, if you're starting a guild or have some regular players and you're fairly along in the story mode and you want to give them some quick thank you gifts, running the first couple floors of this dungeon are going to give you many, many nice items, or just a ton of money in resale value. Now this is about the time where I start thinking, and if you're familiar with the channel, that's never a good thing, but I was going to go straight up, and then I realized there was a completely unprotected treasure room here. And we're going through, grabbing the chests, smashing the urns, then all of a sudden, as I go from the urns to the jars here, I pick up a healing elixir. That's when the light bulb finally turns on. See, I've used quite a few healing elixirs up to this point. What I end up doing is running in and out of this room about a half dozen times to try and refill my healing elixirs. I'm going to spare you the finery details of it. Here I am coming right out of it. I want to say I got up back to 74, so I picked up 10 elixirs. I want to say that was a good 8 minutes I spent just grinding breakable items. And clearly you could do that all the way back up to 99. If you're not in a time crunch, if you are truly patient, and if you feel you will need them, I strongly suggest that. In hindsight, I would have probably done it, but 2 out of 3 is going to be the deciding factor for me, and my patience and time available was not there. So I gave it a good 8 minutes. I got back up to 74, and I'm like, yeah, good enough. If another opportunity presents itself, I will certainly take it. Here is a trio of Bugged Moo Guardian in all of their neon glory. Getting some critical strikes, getting some no damage. Wise Man goes into critical because when there's 3 of them, they just decide to start casting after everyone. This is fortunately at a point where my fingers were fairly nimble on exchanges, so I'm able to keep everyone relatively healthy. Even managed to get that first drain off and keep everyone alive. Yet another Caduceus Rod. Now we've got Wise Man focusing on the heals. Magic accuracy has gone down for the Blade Master. Not that that really matters in this particular battle, so lucky for us, a debuff that doesn't matter. Down to just 1 Moo Guardian now, and this feels pretty easy. Drain meter already getting ticked up fairly high at this point, and we haven't even got to floor 3, but we have survived 3 Bugged Moo Guardians. Pick up an Emperor's Soul and a Green Call before departing for floor number 3. Now, you'll remember how I just threw that aside out about a minute and a half ago, that if I got another chance to do some consumables grinding, I'm probably going to take it, right? Well, a man of my word. And my word, what consumables grinding I did. I spent about 8 minutes at the last room. This time I spent about 12 minutes, and I didn't get too much higher up. I did end up maxing out on restoratives and antidotes. Also worth noting that I finished this dungeon with 51 Holy Sap. I want to say I got around 76 on the elixirs this time, which is good because I want to say I used about 7 or 8 on the Moo Guardians battle. Coming back to reality now, and we're finally going to move on to where progress was achieved. Sorry for the quick skip there, I know it's a little jarring. It's tough to get precise even in my editing software with an upload this big without zooming in forever and a day. Full disclosure, I was doing the edits to this while cooking breakfast, so it was a bit of back and forth for me. See a lovely key lime shade to our drain meters. We pick up yet another set of shadow robes. I want to say that was a men's large. At this point, I'm fighting Moo Guardians in my sleep. This is the most natural thing. Dot hack Moo Guardian kill. Yet another Caduceus Rod as well. Pairs perfectly with the shadow robes. I think it's going to be the in fashion for casters next year. I really do. Keep an eye on it for the spring. Resurrect out of the chest, and you can never have enough of those when you're in a 10th floor dungeon full of data bugs. Moo Guardians in a pair this time, and casting in tandem. Just watching the hit points go down on command, it almost has this volley sort of look to it. They hit, we heal, they hit, we heal. I get charmed again. Kites down, and this is simply a matter where the Moo Guardians get in their own way. I'd have probably taken out Wise Man if they weren't so busy casting on me. Instead, the charm wears off before I could even get close. Sometimes you have to wonder about monster logic, don't you? Time for yet another drain, and you'll notice that virtually every encounter we've had, in fact, every encounter we've had, has had a data bug in it so far, so the drain meter is not getting much rest at all. did sneak a Moominlight in there, put one of the Moo Guardians to sleep, simply so it wouldn't move away so quickly. Since Kite had fallen in battle, his speed boost had worn off, and since we were damn close to the end of this floor, I didn't bother giving him a speed boost. Forgot about coming in here for more consumables. Could have probably cut this out too. But here we are. I don't think I spent too much time in here, truth be told, because I just kept getting antidotes and restoratives, and once you're up to 99 of those, it's a little annoying. I may have come in again simply because I got the invisible eggs out of the way. Another thing I did while consumable grinding was talk to Wise Man a lot, who was really hoping I was in a trading mood. Wise Man has some decent stuff, by the way, in his inventory. Of course, you get him late game, so you don't have to say if you wait till late in the game. But he's got, like, some of the less exotic high-tier weapons, I will say. He's got things like Eternity and Ultimate Spear. So again, a nice weapon outlet if you're looking for something high level for a character, or if another player's looking for something and the Net Slum shop just doesn't quite have it for him. So again, this is what I'd been doing for about 20 minutes of my run up to this point. Which is pretty funny because we're 20 minutes into this video, a little further than 20 minutes, but yeah, this was not one for the faint of heart. Here I go in again. For a bit of background, there was... And hats off to Alka for dealing with stuff like this. Alkalime, who hosts the lobby server. I know I mentioned NetSlum. NetSlum is the website they put up and sort of the face they've put on it. But Alkalime is the person. Also runs the NetSlum Discord. But Alka was in the process of updating some things on their computer, and then they wound up with a power outage out of nowhere. So the lobby server was down for about a day and a half there, including some time that I had to play, and I figured if nothing else, I've been putting off this run for about a month now, and it was a good time to head on, because if there's no online play, might as well play offline, right? Floor number 4 now, as we've thankfully given up on Healing Elixir Quest for the moment. I did say the first 5 floors are really the brutal ones, and as you can see, floor number 4 is... It's an ass kicker. There's no other way to go about describing it. You're seeing 7 portals in your vicinity out of the entrance and no exit in sight. Also seeing a sandhill data bugged. So we have a new variety of bugged monster after 3 floors of straight Moo Guardian or bust on the bugs. Downside, it's a very large enemy and it's earth tolerant, so Wise Man's big damage spell, not that useful. There you see our SP gets halved on the drain as a side effect. I'm already in the yellows on the drain meter. Nice thing about it is it's only 1 enemy, but then once we drain it, it's completely physically tolerant. And Knight's Bane's just not working. I think I went 0 for 3 here and just sort of gave up on it. Then I forgot what damn element it was and just had Wise Man start dropping Fagandon on it. It's working because it's shifted from elemental tolerance to physical tolerance after the drain, but it's not as effective as it could be, and to make matters worse, I'm hacking at it for zeros and so is Kite. Eventually, it sort of clicks in my head that this just ain't working so well and I need to switch things up a little bit. So I look at Kite, and sure enough, Kite has Orjukzot, which I eventually realize is the element I really want to be going after here. No wood element skills for Wise Man at this point, but we're at least making some progress with the 2 of them casting. should have probably tried for Slape here, but I'm not sure how slaping a pile of animated sand would go. Would have been a good time to find out, I suppose. Do eventually use a green call, as I forgot I had those. I had a bunch of them, actually, because I bought 90 of each level 2 summons at the Net Slum shop a while back. Finally get done with the Sandhill. That is by far and away the worst I handle one. That Sprite Ocarina was just simply my thumb jamming up and not pressing the button enough times, while I thought I had hit it enough in my head. Grabbing more elixirs that we needed, and more Jungle Rage out of the chest. Nice thing is, it's giving me wood element spells, as though it had almost seen me struggling that badly against a single monster. Golden Egg annoying the piss out of me, so I grab it. Fortunately, I wasn't at 99 for a change, so it just goes into the old inventory. Definitely at 99 on the antidotes and restoratives, so we get the can't use more than that text, and it blocks me from walking out the door because, again, in offline mode, doors just work. Looking through the inventory here and switching my shortcut to green call in case we run into another sandhill. Invisible eggs I am very much at 99 of, so I'm just sort of ignoring that one as much as possible. And it's time for another good old-fashioned family rebuff. Also time for more tea. Haven't even reached the halfway point and my throat's shut. Yay, commentary, right? Gonna grab a lifesaver here, so if you hear any paper tearing in the background, then this is a damn good microphone. Pair of Moo Guardians in this battle. Kinda happy to see the Moo Guardians at this point. They're more than excited to see Wise Man, which is a problem for us, because Wise Man is our healing battery. Never a good sign when you have to heal the healer, but it is crucial to do so when you need to. Get a drain off there with another Caduceus Rod. Fortunately, no negatives. Unfortunately, Wise Man does go down in battle. Float him a quick Artisan Soul and get him back to power up. Kite finishes off Moo Guardian number 1, and then starts assisting us with number 2. Protection is broken quickly enough, and we pick up a Forsaken Light, and then back it into the corner and put it to sleep as though it was watching this upload. Kite promises not to waste our efforts. And then we cash in beautifully on a 0 experience monster. More Jungle Rage and Holy Sap to be had. Also going to pick up the Forest of Fear and the Lovers before moving upward. Can finally see our exit, and it is fortunately only one portal in our way. Unfortunately, Moo Guardians once again decide to focus on the caster, which give Kite and I a pretty clear shot at the Moo Guardian, but at the cost of several elixirs keeping Wise Man in shape. Again, drain meter very high, into the yellows, and it's only floor 4. So I'm very worried at this point, because the redder that gets, the more dangerous the concept and prospect of draining is. Do get out of here, though, with another Forsaken Light and no terrible ramifications. And yeah, 4 floors in, this is pretty standard for me, actually doing better than usual. This is usually about the point I have to figure out whether or not I'm going to chance it further, because the elixirs are usually fairly low. You may not have seen it there, as it was a blinking you'll miss it moment, but I was sitting at 71. could just see the stairs down on the right side there. So we know what direction to go if we have any branching paths, and we're only seeing one portal directly ahead of us. Overall, floor 5 starting out a bit nicer than the first four floors do. Here we pull a Psyche Vision. Just a plain old Psyche Vision. Game being nice, giving us something we could hit with Earth Element spells, and something that isn't a data bug. Just gonna use Wise Man on this, let him Fragment on our way to success. Made sure to sleep the Psyche Vision first, so Kite's absolutely free and clear standing up there. Then somewhat clumsily decided for a melee finish. Picked up Happiness out of the chest dropped. Next portal completely skippable. We actually get a few rooms free movement here. Up to this point in the adventure, this is the safest period I've had since leaving Netslum. Even riding the Grunty as soon as I got off, there was a portal right by the dungeon, and if I wasn't running straight in, I'd probably been trapped in a battle. So it looks like one more portal to go. I can't remember if they snuck a portal in just before the exit, but we've got one in the room next, so I'm taking a moment to refresh the buffs. And here we have another sandhill. At this point, I just sort of focused on having Kite hit like crazy, and then on the other side, try and get everyone as quickly as possible back into decent shape, as our hit points and SP were completely taken out. Still have the green call on shortcut, so it's time to quickly drop back to the back and become primary damage dealer there. Big thing to focus on, and this is something I took with me through the rest of the dungeon, is no matter what, Wise Man's got to stay on those hit points. He has got to be my healing battery the way I play. That's just what works best for me. Time to get those buffs back up and ready, because I do in fact have one more portal before floor 6. Fortunately, only 3 portals here, and a massive shift in the design as there's now a little wiggle room in the dungeon. It does appear as though the game feels if you can make it through the top half of the dungeon, you deserve a fair shot at the rest. Went the wrong way there. I want to say I was distracted at that moment, and again, if you're familiar with the channel, my brain is never the sharpest. Next portal up is Sandhill number 3. Yeah, we faced one last time. 1 or 2 last time. I want to say this is the 3rd or 4th one we faced. And again, we've got the strategy pretty down pat. Just pure physical attacks at the beginning. Once the drain's done, let its attention be caught up with Kite as we fade back. Moving right into the orange on the old danger meter there. Also get put to sleep ourselves as a side effect of the drain. Not going to waste any time on restorative items by the NPCs, we'll just ride that out. Nice foul rough by Wise Man to keep us in good shape, and now it's green call ho. Don't get elemental hits on the last 2, so it indeed does take 4 where it looked like a surefire 3 at the start, but hey, who's gonna sweat one scroll here? while we're going after the last samurai. Pick up the moon out of that chest, the single most anticlimactic pull you could get in a level 95 dungeon. Although I guess it uses sleep as well, so it's not the worst thing to pull. Floor 6 here. Yeah, I think I had to grab... I want to say this was when the phone rang. Full disclosure, I had the mic muted while recording this, so a lot of things were going on in the background, as typically is the case for me. But yeah, a nice little pause there, which was great for myself as well, because it gave me a chance to reflect. Now we're getting back into things and buffing again. And as you can see, we've got sort of a linear path here, a couple of bending rooms back and forth, 2 portals and a treasure chest visible. And the dungeon's just sort of meandering from right to left there. Up against a Dark Lord. First time we have seen one of those today. Able to cast... I want to say that is either first or second level Rhynek. Just hitting Kite for a little less than half of his health. Also, incredibly fast moving and can confuse party members, which is when the pain comes Kite's way. What the Lich Lord couldn't do, we absolutely could, and we almost wipe our entire party before getting hit with another Rhynek and smartly reviving everyone before things get too hairy. Only a couple hits left in the Dark Lord and we take it down. 13 quality experience to Wise Man for those keeping track at home. And about 5 more buffs I need to cast because I done killed my friends. Yet another sentence that's all too frequently said in .hack Fragment. Wise Man, as always, the most deadpan of responses. Thanks, appreciated. Wonder if he said that while we were confused too. Probably just said ouch. Moving to the next. And we've got another Psyche Vision, so that is 2 combats in a row without a data bug. Time for cake and celebratory music. Or perhaps just a whole bunch of Fagandon. Now, you may be screaming into the screen, why don't I just use Stone Call? I said I had a whole bunch of consumables, and it's about this time where that thought did occur to me. And then I realized that we're only in the 6th floor of this dungeon. Which is bound to be 10 floors because it's the last dungeon. It's gotta be 10 floors, right? Do make our way to that treasure chest, and it gives us a Forest of Fear. Now, floor 6 is fascinating because we had that we had, what, 2 encounters, neither one was a data bug? No data bugs on floor 6. Again, we're feeling really good at this point. Getting down to floor 7, for the first time this dungeon, our drain meter is actually improving. And then I see this, and I have to think. You've got 2 identical lead-ups. Which do you take? I wish I could say I had some sophisticated knowledge or remembered back to a previous dungeon design like this, or had some insight into the designer's thinking process, or read an article at some point. Truth of the matter is I'm left-handed. So by the time I got done with these buffs, I just sort of said F and I'm going left. One of these routes is going to lead to the exit. I kind of figured they didn't both lead there because that would be far too easy to have something just meet back up. That would not be at all in the .hack styling. But once again, I made my choice of left, and I stuck with that choice. getting a Psyche Vision right out of the gate here. So 3 battles in a row without a data bug. Spoilers ahead, this streak will end. But for now, we're just going to ride it out as much as possible, because if you remember, we were damn close to red there. We were squarely in the orange, past the yellow. And that's going quickest route. I would have to assume that most of the auxiliary battles away from the quickest path are not data bugs, in the hope that you can finish through them and sort of get the meter down a little bit. But at the same time, I don't think that's a guarantee. Moving up to the next battle, and we've got another Psyche Vision. Moomin Lay working alright for me, and getting those early sleeps in, fantastic. Just gonna have Wise Man hammer away. Easily the most offensive point of Wise Man's entire dungeon delve were these Psyche Visions. Get the Protect break real quick. Again, the temptation is there to drain, and you'll notice I've been doing that through the menu the entire time because I, like a Potts, decided to have 2 physical skills and 2 non-physical skills, as Moomin Lay isn't technically magic by the game. Rather than have data drain on a shortcut. I do not recommend that strategy. It worked out for me. I don't think I'd have done it had I consciously been thinking about it. It was just in the moment how my character was set up, so yay lack of prep and foresight. One more portal before the stairs down here, as I was rewarded for my random chance guess of picking my dominant hand's direction to go. And then we are out of floor 7. So I got to skip a little gauntlet of 3 portals there. Also missed out on some treasure, and now you see probably my least favorite of the data bugs in this dungeon. We have a full-on bugged Aurora Feather. It's casting Crake at us, and it's doing massive, massive damage. And since we're all in fairly close proximity, when the summons hits, its area is big enough that we can't get Wise Man clear. And we have to watch the damage bar on everybody, and by we, I mean me, because again, this is offline. Its physical attack is also hitting like crazy. At this point, I realize I do in fact need to grab these stone calls. Kite dies, which is terrible news for Wise Man. And now I start hammering away with stone calls, which is when I make another very important realization. It's that this is only hitting once. It's hitting consistently, which is more than a physical attack will do against this chain of monster. But it's only hitting once. So we get Kite back up to draw aggro. Getting my summons in, and I'm quickly realizing that the stone calls just aren't doing enough. Kite falls again, prompting yet another revival. Keep Wise Man on the fall routes. And eventually I've just sort of got to bite the bullet here and switch my shortcut back to Megan Rom. I was just lamenting the fact that this shortcut was set to a ROM spell at the beginning rather than a data drain. Truth be told, that's kind of the route I had to go here. Wise Man gets bludgeoned to death, which brings our kill count on NPCs up to 3 or 4 in this particular battle. And if it wasn't at 4 before, it sure is now, as Kite falls again. I want to say, though, that was number 5, as I think Kite fell 4 times on his own. We still haven't even hit the Protect break, folks. If you're not prepared for a data bug at this level, it's gonna hit you pretty hard, and this was the kind of consumable taxation I was dreading, and in fact the kind of consumable taxation that thwarted a couple earlier runs of mine. Eventually got sort of into a 3-step pattern where I would be able to cast 2 Megan ROMs and heal, and that rhythm was working fairly well for me. Again, Wise Man taking considerable damage from the Crake summons, but not lethal, as the magic defense stat is fairly high for a Wave Master of that level. So I was able to keep a fairly close eye of Wise Man's hit points independent, and move to the opposite side of the Aurora Feather there. Couple more McGann ROMs there, just kind of hoping against hope that this Protect Break happens. Kite goes down yet again. This battle's a mini marathon in itself. Finally get the Protect Break. Finally able to go for the data drain, once again in the yellows. Everyone's SP gets drained a little, but again, we could have far worse, and now we're down to just an Aurora Feather. Aurora Feathers are a pain, but it could be worse. They're not even full-on Psyche Visions. Get Wise Man once again in the healing mode. Moomin Lay on the Aurora Feather, and now it's time to drop some Figand. Also throw in a Megan ROM, and then I remember those stone calls, and it's time for a little bit of vengeance here. Get some nice high numbers going. Non-elemental hits hitting for over 700, and the 1452 elementals, just perfect. All of that to finally get through the encounter, pick up a Forest of Fear, which is very fitting, and limp our ways to floor number 8. Now, floor number 8, I did mention I'm going to skip over for the most part, because this is a very long upload, and you don't need to go through all the gritty details. You can see the map right there. It's a whole little coil of tiny rooms with treasure chests. There's no combats, there's no swerves or surprises, there's no cutscenes. So I just sort of run through, grab the chests, break some breakables for consumable items on the way. Didn't do any grinding, but this is pretty much your last really great chance to do so if you wanted. Picking up here at the start to floor 9. And once again, not a whole ton of stuff in floor 9 to look at, just one portal. Part of me thought this may be the boss battle, and then I remembered that most of our quote-unquote boss battle data bugs in the story mode haven't really had portals, plus there's going to be a whole other floor. I don't think it's just going to be the Gotts statue. So I do decide to head down the left branch and pick up what consumables are there in the breakables and loot the chests. Again, the toll on this has been massive to this point. In time, in effort, in items. Did not realize how low I got on items until afterwards when I looked and was very afraid had any of this broken differently. All sorts of invisible eggs bouncing about here. And a train whistle blowing outside for added aggravation. But you'll have these things. Making our way through, just couldn't resist a couple more jar smashes there. No elixirs to come out of that. But we do get some holy sap at least. Now just going to keep making our way further right. And we'll come back around at the top side of this box here for our big old room with a portal. And then it's on to floor 10. More holy sap to be gained. Oh, so much sap. Even more holy sap.
Invisible egg.
Sometimes I think I just came down here for the holy set. Yeah, looking back on it, that's kind of the only thing I picked up at this point. Got a Forest of Fear too. There's a golden egg with more quality bouncing noises. And now that we've finally made it here, we can finally rebuff. Just what y'all wanted, yet another filler break. Just gonna say this now, tip of the hat to whoever watches this in one shot. Kinda wish I was recording this in segments. Probably be fresher here at the end. I'm actually looking at the little bar of my voice recording, and I could see a considerably more spaced out here once we got past the 45-minute mark. Finally get to the combat now, and it is a very lucky break for us. Just a Forest of Fear in a box. So that is lucky break number 2, and now we can go down to floor number 10. 9 floors in, we're set. It's do or die time for us. Got a portal right at the beginning, and then it looks like we get a few off. But this portal at the beginning is going to be yet another Aurora Feather. If you remember last time out, this was no fun whatsoever, and we're just going to go right ahead and switch to Megan Rom. As you can see, that drain meter incredibly high. We're at that yellow to orange point again. But at least we've got some distance there for Wise Man. So all Wise Man has to do is keep focusing on the healing. Kite draws aggro, and we just keep casting Megan Rom. Not the most efficient or prettiest looking system, but a damn sight better than last time out. Also worth noting that I did not go out of my way to give many high-level items. That Discord chirp was because I had the Discord up. I was keeping tabs on the server while I was playing offline. I did go ahead and give Last Betrayal, level 99 Twin Blade weapons, to Kite for the critical hit, however. So there was at least that much. Could see the Aurora Feather moving away. We've done a fair bit of damage at this point. I want to say it's going a good deal quicker than the first battle did, but that's simply because I had a plan of attack laid out. Could just see all of the numbers going back and forth. The Aurora Feather hitting summons, Wise Man hitting foul rep, occasionally Kite getting absolutely rocked by physical attacks, and occasionally, a very seldom occasion, landing one himself. More often than not, Kite's got the misses going on there, and we've got Megan Rom doing 21 damage as often as humanly possible. Should have gone for the elixir there. Sort of spaced, went for Wise Man first and Kite drops before we can go ahead and get things done, so that's down one more resurrect. Do eventually get things set right though. Fortunately, no spacing issues. The Aurora Feather doesn't really move, and we can keep on our intended strategy. Should be nearing the protect break at this point. There it is. Time to go back up, hit the data drain, and there it was. The good news is we picked up an Uber Guard on the drain. The bad news is I lost 800 experience and dropped to level 98. Doesn't sound that bad, and in all honesty, it wasn't. The next day the server was back up, and Emus was nice enough to help me grind for the experience to get back to 99. Unfortunately, it was a giant kick in the teeth in real life, and once again, set in the gravity that is this final dungeon run. At this point, I didn't really care about my consumables. I just wanted to get to the last samurai and make this run and my level worth the sacrifice. Stone Call the bejesus out of this Aurora Feather, get my win, and pick up an experience, because I can do that again now at level 98. Grab a Forest of Fear. We've got a completely unchecked treasure chest here. A little bit of holy sap out of that corpse, must have been holding it together, and a Forest of Fear before we make our way further down. Now you'll see there's a whole bunch of rooms, but only one more portal showing. Initially, again, my knee-jerk reaction was that's the boss battle, because that's clearly the statue room behind it. Couldn't not be the statue room, because there's no way to get stairs down in Fragment past floor 10. Got a dead-end treasure room at the way bottom of the map. Gonna go check that out once I figure out exactly which way the room was. Got it backwards in my head again. One more chance to pick up items. At this point, I'm tunnel visioned on the end, though. Running the Rugrats Knights, and aside from holding a couple Moo Guardians in place and the Psyche Visions, the Moomin Lay was not a big factor in it overall, I would say. However, I would also say it's made quite an impression on me and is my default weapon for a reason. Now, I actually skipped that portal for a second to go down this way, and then I saw the purple particle fog of doom that told me, in fact, the last samurai battle is over there. Once again, not going over that battle in this upload. That will be for part 2. Instead, we've still got one more battle and the statue here for this one, so please, if you've been watching all this time, or even if you just skipped here, welcome. We've only got a couple more minutes to go. One more Aurora Feather, and you know this battle isn't going to end quick, but you also know we've got a plan in place. Get that Foul Erupt cast right quick and in a hurry. Tried for a Moomin Lay there. It's not going to work on a data bug. That was just dumb of me. Once again, you see high danger. And really about the only reason I'm not sweating this data bug is the fact that I'm inclined to believe that my luck can't possibly be bad enough to level down twice in a row. There have been times I've been unlucky, but that is damn unlucky. Kite did fall early in this battle. That was just me not paying attention. Came damn close that time as well. Now we are behind the Aurora Feather. So you get a nice close-up of Kite if you're feeling nostalgic for IMOQ. This is what you'd be looking at most times, dead on. Once again, keeping the Wise Man healing like crazy. Kite falls again because I got out of rhythm here. I do believe I'm close enough to get both myself and Kite in the aura of that Foul Erupt, yep. Otherwise that would have just been poor planning on my part, but this way the Aurora Feather's got to turn one way or the other completely to physically attack, and that's going to save one of us. Now with it focused on me, A, you get this lovely shot of its neon tail feathers, and B, I don't have to worry about Kite's hit points all that much because he's going to survive the splash damage from Crake, and I'm going to survive being directly targeted by a bugged Aurora Feather. It's really kind of a cool look with all of the data bug protections, little corrupted neon graphics on the feathers. Almost kind of makes it look like a cyber battle armor on the bird. There really is a unique charm to the dot hack monsters. Once again, just doing our thing, putting in our effort, and grinding our way to this protect break. Saw Kite got a solid hit in there. The Aurora Feather's hitting us pretty hard, but nothing we can't handle, especially with Wise Man casting like crazy behind us. Make sure to float an Artisan Soul their way. And do eventually rotate the camera so you're all not just staring at the back end of a giant turkey, as it were. Back to a more traditional formation, and Kite gets one shot with a sweeping wing. I believe his hit points were fairly low there. Again, just poor planning on my part. Got out of rhythm adjusting the camera and got a little lazy with my heels. Once again, closing in on the Protect break. Time to hit our Data Drain. Last one for this Fragment Friday. And we pick up yet another Uber Guard. Now we're down to just a... Did that say Psyche Vision? I believe it did. Find out. No, I guess we won't find out real quick here, as it doesn't pull the name up. But it's sure hitting like it's a Psyche Vision. Either way, just a barrage of stone calls. It's not going to last too long. Down it goes. We do pick up some quality experience. Treasure chest before the door and statue chest after. Statue chest is going to give us Eternity and a pair of Emperor's Souls. That's going to do it here. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you around.